Forces Classic is back. See all the action aboard the USS Abraham Lincoln.
Plus, a man accused of going on a rampage in a stolen van is under arrest. The charges he's facing tonight.
This Veterans Day, we honor the first Navy Corpsman amputee assigned to an infantry unit.
And on this Veterans Day, how shoes made this World War II veteran and the local doctor who saved his life soulmates. CBS 8 News Live at 6 starts now.
Right now, the Gonzaga and Michigan State basketball teams are facing off in a tight back-and-forth Armed Forces Classic aboard the USS Abraham Lincoln at NAS North Island. Good evening. Happy Veterans Day. Thanks for joining us on this Friday. I'm Marcella Lee.
I'm Carlo Cicchetto. The game is a nationally televised event honoring our veterans. It's a big deal. It's not every day you get to see college hoops on an aircraft carrier.
CBS 8's Shannon Handy has more on that and reaction from fans. Shannon?
It's been more than a decade since a college basketball game has been played aboard a working military ship here in San Diego. It's a difficult feat to pull off, but tonight proved once again it can happen. And for our military men and women, seeing it on Veterans Day is extra special.
The scene surrounding today's matchup between Gonzaga and Michigan State isn't what you typically see at a college basketball game. From military-inspired uniforms to the outdoor corps build aboard the USS Abraham Lincoln, the Armed Forces Classic is a unique tradition that brings together some of the nation's top programs on or around Veterans Day as a way to honor our servicemen and women.
We have volunteers from different squadrons, and as soon as you hear, hey, ESPN is doing a basketball game on board the Abe Lincoln, everyone's raising their hands and they're like, hey, I want to do it. I want to volunteer.
Chief Hospital Corpsman Diana Jucatan is among several service members who helped out at today's game, saying being here isn't just exciting, it makes her proud.
At the end of the day, I'm happy that we are able to showcase the Abraham Lincoln.
In addition to those serving now, we spotted several veterans in the crowd, including Carl Moon and Stan Kalasa.
Enjoying it. What a great day.
Both men volunteer on the USS Midway, which hosted a similar event in 2012. But the first time a game like this was held on a working military ship was back in 2011. When Michigan State took on North Carolina on Veterans Day aboard the USS Carl Vince here in San Diego. That game drew more than 8,000 fans, including the Obamas. And while the tradition continued the following year, playing basketball aboard a ship proved to be challenging due to technical difficulties and wind gusts that made playing harder than usual. This year, it's back. A fitting tribute fans and our military are excited about.
It's a great opportunity and it's an honor to be here.
Reporting aboard the USS Abraham Lincoln at NAS North Island, I'm Shannon Handy for CBS 8. Back to you.
A lot of sad Michigan State fans. I'm from Michigan, so I know a lot of people who are watching that game, of course, and a few friends that came into town for it. And while Shannon's report was happening, we learned the outcome.
I'm not sure how sincere that is. She's not State. She's the other ones.
Well, no, but
the Wolverines.
I went to University of
Spartans.
Michigan, but I'm going to vote for Michigan State if they're playing.
Okay.
And they did not win, by the way.
So.
They lost 63-64.
Gonzaga won.
Yeah, by 1 point.
Today is, of course, Veterans Day, and we honor and thank those who served our country.
Today, a hometown Arlington West memorial was on display on the front lawn of the USS Midway Museum. This morning, the San Diego Veterans for Peace set up the memorial. More than 300 headstones were on display honoring fallen service members from Southern California who died in the Iraq and Afghanistan wars.
We want them to be remembered. We think it's important. That's why we call this Arlington West, after the cemetery in Washington, D.C.
People were welcome to stop by, read the names, and honor the ultimate sacrifice made by these fallen veterans. There are celebrations all over the county today.
Hundreds of San Diegans gathered along the Embarcadero. It was Fleet Week, family day for Fleet Week on the Broadway Pier, where they watched skydivers, vintage aircraft flyovers, and search and rescue demonstrations by the U.S. Coast Guard. On Coronado, the Coronado Island Film Festival held its annual Salute to Veterans program. There was live music and a military art installation. And in Oceanside today, the Veterans Association of North County honored local heroes this morning. The commanding general of Camp Pendleton, Lieutenant General George W. Smith Jr., spoke at the ceremony. He thanked all who have served as well as their families.
San Diego police are telling us tonight that DUI was not a factor in the death of a 74-year-old pedestrian who was hit and killed in Mira Mesa. This happened just before 7:30 this morning at the intersection of Polaris Drive and Capricorn Way. Police say the victim was pinned underneath a Toyota Tacoma. That man died at the scene. We don't know tonight if the driver will face any charges.
A Nevada man accused of going on a crime rampage over the past week while driving a stolen van has been arrested in Kearny Mesa. 55-year-old Christopher Howard could face assault with a deadly weapon charges. As CBS 8's David Gottfredson reports, the deadly weapon is the van he was accused of stealing.
A construction worker with a cell phone captured this video of a white van plowing through a barricade last week and hitting another car in South Crest. Police say the van was stolen on November 2nd from a restaurant in Las Vegas called Mount Everest India's Cuisine. You can even see the advertising on the side of the van, and the cell phone video shows a quick glimpse of the driver's face. Move the car! Then on November 6th, the same van is suspected of smashing through the front door of this Vaughn's grocery store on Regents Road in the Golden Triangle. Not once, but twice, according to a Starbucks worker who came face to face with the driver.
Yeah, he had his hand up as if to say it's okay or keep back, and then he pulled back and came in a second time.
Yesterday in Kearny Mesa, San Diego police finally caught up with the suspect. Christopher Mitchell Howard had been detained by a security guard inside the Target store. When police walked him out in handcuffs, he tried to run away. The attempted escape caught on this dash cam video. But the 55-year-old did not get far before officers captured him again. He was rambling incoherently and not too happy to see a camera recording his arrest.
No, they're extremely nice and they're extremely cordial. It's not about that. I've been extremely compliant. Excuse me, get the out of my face.
They also detained a woman suspected of being a passenger in the white van. Howard is being held on grand theft, possession of a stolen vehicle, and petty theft charges. But he could be facing an assault with a deadly weapon charge if he can be positively identified as the driver who crashed through that construction site in South Crest. At the Vaughn's here on Regents Road, they do have surveillance video of that van plowing through that front door. I asked if they would release the video to me to put it on the news. That was a no-go. Meanwhile, Howard remains in custody. He's due to be arraigned in court on Tuesday. In University City, David Gottfredson, CBS 8.
Three days after many voters cast their ballots, some races are still being decided. Here's the latest update on a few we're watching closely. In the 49th Congressional District, incumbent Democrat Mike Levin has widened his lead over Republican Brian Marriott. Levin now has 52% of the vote to Marriott's 48%. This race could play a part in determining the balance of power in the House. And in the race for Chula Vista mayor, Republican Councilmember John McCann's lead is a little tighter with 1% difference from yesterday, 54% to 46%. McCann now has 54% of the votes, as I mentioned. Amar Campanajjar gaining a little bit of ground.
Those votes are still being counted, and the final outcomes will have an impact on the state, local, and potentially even national level. Some people are asking why it takes so much longer here in California to certify votes when other states were able to call all races the same night. Here's our political reporter Morgan Reiner to explain.
The simple answer is that California has made it incredibly easy to vote. Every single registered voter automatically gets a ballot sent to them, and it doesn't even have to arrive by Election Day as long as it's postmarked by Election Day. Whereas in Florida, you specifically have to request an absentee ballot, and if it doesn't arrive at the facility by the time the polls close, well, then it doesn't count.
San Diego County Registrar Cynthia Paz said it's time for the voters' mindset to change.
Elections are not a one-day event anymore. There's multiple days to vote. If you return your ballot even just a week early, it will be in that count election night. So we are encouraging voters to act early.
One of the main reasons, mail-in ballots.
As long as it's postmarked on or before Election Day and received by our office up to 7 days after Election Day, that's considered timely cast and can be processed into the count.
The county plans on releasing another round of ballot results this evening and has until December 8th to certify the election.
We definitely think there should be clear resolution within the next week for any close contests.
And those votes could make the difference.
There's over 200 contests on the ballot. Some of the local school districts, some of the special districts, I noticed some tight races. Some of the statewide races, there was some tight races.
There are still 16 congressional races in California that have yet to be called. Some by me, the 13th district, have less than 300 ballots between the two candidates. As far down as Southern California, there's a race where it's about 1.5 percentage points between the two candidates, so very close.
And we are still watching the key races that could determine the balance of power on Capitol Hill. We will have a closer look at those coming up new tonight in our second half hour.
Still ahead tonight, we're wrapping up our Cyber Week with steps you can take to clean up your digital footprint.
Plus, it's that time of year again if you want one of those Mama's Pies for Thanksgiving. We'll have everything you need to know if you want to place your order now.
Pretty quiet as we go into the start of the weekend. We're talking about a cool temperature of 60 degrees for downtown right now. And as we go into this weekend, a little bit of a change up in that forecast. More details coming up.
And up next, how you can still help honor our heroes tonight on this Veterans Day.